Hey guys, welcome back to another impressions video, yet again to talk about another Xbox One Game Pass game, so no physical copy, just holding my Xbox One controller here. Very short title, game that I just beat, the Untitled Goose game, which is, there's not a whole lot to say about this game, but I wanted to give its own impressions video because I really thoroughly enjoyed this game, even though it's a short one. I'm not really sure how long it took me, maybe like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours if I had to guess. But you can definitely beat this game in probably an hour or even under an hour if you know exactly what you're doing once you find out everything about the game. But very enjoyable game, kind of like an indie type of game that initially was released for the Nintendo Switch, but I think now it's widely available for all the systems. And I almost bit the bullet and purchased the game because I was hearing a lot of positive things about this game, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because Game Pass, it's kind of like the new thing for me, and the game was available there as part of the subscription. Downloaded it, and the game it just grabbed me from the beginning. It has a very easy to follow concept, and it's essentially like a puzzle stealth type of game in which you control a goose, and the goose, you can quack, you can run, you can kind of like crouch and be stealthy, and you can obviously interact with different items or things in the game, and that's basically it. I mean, the game has a very limited control scheme, but it's ample enough for you to do a lot of things that you want to do with the goose. And the game revolves around just solving puzzles. Like the setting is basically this village or town. It kind of looks like an English town, and I don't know. Everything about the game is charming. The graphics are very good looking. I see some of you guys already probably know what the game looks like, but the graphics themselves are colorful. The setting itself is very relaxing, and just for you to control this crazy goose, basically raking havoc to the residents of this town, is just a very funny concept. But the game basically revolves around, you have a to-do list, and you have to figure out how to basically complete that list. So a very simple concept, but the game might have you like one of the objectives is to steal the keys out of the resident of this house. So you have to like sneak up behind him and then grab the keys, and you check off an item off the list. Some of them are very simple like that. Some of them are more complex. Some of them require you to be very stealthy, have a strategy in place. But some of them are multi-step types of objectives. So some of them are kind of like collectibles, where you have to collect a bunch of items and then gather them in a certain place, and at the same time, obviously, you have to not be caught by the different residents or the people in the game. So there's a strategy involved in the game. Some of the objectives are hard. I had to look up like 2 or 3 of them in order to finish the game because I couldn't figure out a way to do them. One of them I thought it was a little bit unfair, and I don't think I would have ever figured out how to do it. The other ones, when I kind of looked at the solution, I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But one of them I was like, how I was supposed to figure this out on my own, right? But what helps the game is the concept. You have this tranquil town, English town with residents, and the graphics are very colorful. Even though the game is not realistic graphics, it has cartoonish graphics, the game feels very real in its setting, in the amount of objects that you can interact in the different parts of the town. It's just a very fun place to explore, and just the thought of having a crazy goose running loose and just making people go mad is just a very fun concept. And I think the creativity behind a lot of the objectives is what makes them fun. One of them had this to trap this little kid inside a phone booth. I thought it was hilarious, and fun to do. So when you see that list, it's almost like you're having fun completing the objectives, a lot of fun, and at the same time you're being challenged with the different strategies. in order to cross off the items of the list. So again, it's a very short game. It's a very short game, but after you beat the game, once the credits roll out, they give you more objectives that are a little bit more involved. So make sure you don't turn off the game after you beat it, because you'll get additional objectives that are a little bit more involved and harder than normal at the end of the game. But overall, I just wanted to give a shout out to this game. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully there is some sort of sequel, because I really enjoyed the game and I wouldn't mind playing a little bit more similar concept, or perhaps a direct sequel to the game. Very basic, very simple concept, yet very addictive and very effective, combined into a very small package. Again, you can beat this game within, on your first play run, I'd say between 2 to 4 hours maybe. It's not a very long game, but in my opinion, it's very enjoyable and charming. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.